ここは
どんな客人も歓迎いたしますよ。私はヘドン。この塔の管理人。
Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. More Tower of God coming our way. Today we're talking about episode 3 of season 1 of the anime and episode, I believe it was 57 of season 3 for the manhwa. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. Remember, first half is going to be the anime, so we're talking about episode 3, The Correct Door. I gotta say, I really like this episode. I think it's the best one so far.
I completely agree. I feel like all my doubts have been washed away.
Yeah, the delivery is pretty good.
Yeah, you know what this is really reminding me of? One Punch Man, right? Because we have the webcomic for One Punch Man, and then we have the manga version in Shonen Jump with One and Murata working on it. And then seeing how that series is changing stuff to better the story, I feel like the anime for Tower of God's kind of doing the same thing. Like they're shuffling things around to make it fit more narratively per episode. And I think that's pretty good. Like the big example here, right, is with Kun. Right, the episode starts off with him and going into his flashback a little bit more, and then that fits better to when we get later when they actually take the next test here in the Evan Kills area, and then that comes back into play when he's overthinking about the problem they have to solve, and that really sets up nicely.
No, I definitely agree. It started off really well. You know, we get more of the background on Kun. I really enjoyed it because now we have to build up the relationship between the team. You know, So starting with Kun is obviously the best bet because that's what happens in the manhwa. Like each episode that airs, I know you're also doing it, Danny. I don't know if you're doing it, Gerry, but we're actually reading the chapters to see the side-by-side comparisons between, you know, the anime and the manhwa.
Yeah, I'm doing it. It's just
it's a dude, diehard fan. Come on, man. But you know, this one was almost, I can say, like 90% one for one, which was great. The delivery on it was really, really solid. I really am enjoying the rack scenes. Like and I've said this before, man, he is the favorite right now. Everybody loves this guy. I mean, what's not to love about him? He's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really glad that they're going this route with Rack in the anime. And also, just again, the voice acting for Rack, it's just so good. Yeah, it's just so good. The frustration, the comedic bits, everything throughout the episode. I was like, Rack's the boy. But yeah, man, I did take some notes about the comparisons. Like you said, we're reading the manhwa as the anime drops. Some interesting choices here. The first thing was when Bam, you know, he asks about the sky because, you know, as we see outside these windows in this building, there's a sky out there. And it's like, well, that doesn't make sense. We're inside a tower. The difference here from the manhwa and anime is that the manhwa has a more serious tone to where Kun's just like, wait, are you kidding? Are you seriously asking this? You know, and then Rack has like this concerned look in his face when he asked that. And then versus the anime, it's, you know, Rack's laughing. It's all more comedic. And they're like, are you kidding me, dude? Like, what are we talking about? I found that interesting that they're going with this route.
You know, I think you said it last week, Danny. You know, there's a different route that the anime is taking as opposed to the manhwa, but it's definitely fitting. You know, and I'm really starting to enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, I'm fine because right now I'm watching it first now instead of reading it because then when I go back to read it, it's already kind of refreshed with the episode and then I can see what they're changing. I think that's the better way to do it. If you're doing that as well, if you're listening.
that is also how I've been doing it. I watch it on the way home from work. I hate getting up early enough because it releases like when I have to leave for work.
Mm-hmm.
So I watch it on the way back, and then it's just like it's like a good refresher. And then I sit in the car and just read the manga, like the manhwa, a few chapters after that, and it's just, you know, a refresh, like what you said, a few refresher after that, just figuring out like what's been going on. There's a lot of good touches going on. It was shaky in the beginning, but right now, so far, it has me hooked. Say if I haven't read it before.
It's definitely started to gain a lot of traction since it's come out, which I am all for because all this shows is that we're just that much closer to, you know, having a strong hope for season 2, which is really, man, we've been saying this a lot, Danny. I just really want season 2.
Yeah, that's all I'm really thinking about lately, watching the episodes.
Season 1 is great, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great development, But season 2 is, man, it's just too good. It's too good. And another thing I will say is I've been keeping a lot of like tabs on how the Twitter community is acting towards Tower of God, and a lot of people, and also the Twitter page is like, hey, you watched the episode, go read the manhwa. And a lot of people I've started to, see in different threads like, oh, it just started it today, blah blah blah. And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Like now people are getting the base content and also enjoying the anime at the same time, which is really all I care about at the end of the day, man. I mean, we've been fans of this for a very long time, and to finally see the fan base grow, it makes me happy.
Yeah, same here, man. I can't wait to go to a convention whenever those come back and just seeing what the impact for Tower of God is at the convention scene. That's going to be pretty hype.
If not, we would have brought the hype.
Oh, definitely. And I will say this next piece, we finally got to the start of the fun parts of Tower. We got the first real game, which was a lot of fun. I mean, well, right before that game, we got what I consider a really good test, which was to get past Han Sung-yu, which, man, I totally forgot about that neon-looking guy. And when I saw him in the preview, I was like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. And then I was reading the manga. I was like, nope, yeah, he's here. And you know what? I do vividly remember them making the garbage bag comment to him. So I was like,
Damn.
okay.
Well, see the difference that the anime did was Kun in the anime did it as an insult to him, right? He's like, yeah, don't talk to that neon plastic bag. But in the manhwa, it was actually Bam. He was like, oh, hey, thanks, neon plastic man, plastic bag man, So I thought that was funny. But yeah, man, this episode really refreshed my memory of a lot of things I forgot in these early chapters. So I'm having fun with that, re-experiencing those moments.
I will say now I mentioned earlier, but we really get the character development of the team. And right in that specific test, we get a little bit more of how detrimental family is and just connections to himself and also his allowance, Kun's allowance of having to make a team. It brought me back to the previous episode where it's like, oh, you have to make a team. It's like, well, damn, well, I already have these two people right here next to me, might as well. But now he's starting to understand, no, I have to have a team if I want to climb through the tower, even though I've been living for, so long, not having to rely on anybody because of what had happened to him. And I think this is an okay time to bring it up. Gerry, you mentioned, oh, was there some type of thing going on with his sister and him? No, if you pay close attention, it's actually that he did everything for her because they were so close. It kind of leaves it's a little, I don't want to say open-ended. Yeah, it kind of in a way because it makes you think, oh, well, they do make the comment, oh, they were lovers, this and that. No, it's the same relationship that Bam has for Rachel. That's his person, that's his rule, which is if you go back to, I think it's the first episode where Bam meets Kun, or second one where he's talking about what he's climbing the tower for, and Kun says, oh, that's your rule. So it's the same deal to him. What I will say is a nice touch, because I don't think they mentioned on it in the manhwa. I think it does really well animated, was where Han Sung-yu says, oh, you're trying to protect his eyes. His eyes referring to Bam's from having to go through something like that. Where I believe in the manhwa, it doesn't really touch on that, which, we kind of get that later on, and it's easy to note. But having to see it in the anime, I think was a really, really nice touch. Because it's now you see the beginning of this bond that Kun is now striving to keep with Bam in particular, as opposed to Rak. I mean, we all know what happens at the end with all three of them. They end up, having this great friendship. But having it start off with just Bam, the way they did it, phenomenal job.
Mm-hmm. So while we're talking about Kun, I think it's a good point to bring it up. I said it in the first episode when we talked about Tower, is that, they're holding stuff off for now until we get more information about the world, right? And what I mean is, they didn't mention certain names or certain things that are important in Tower, but because we're just starting off, it's going to take a while before we even get there, so let's not mention these names or floors or anything like that. But now that we already have information about princesses and all that in the flashback with Kun, they mentioned, because it is an important piece in his backstory. But yeah, one of his siblings that he's not affiliated with became a princess, and I kind of like it. It's just a very subtle drop. We don't have a lot of information yet, but as we saw who's going to show up next episode,
Being a princess is a big deal.
yeah, we're going to get some more of that next episode, I believe. So that's good there. Slowly teasing it out when they should.
The Kun family are a bunch of assholes.
Oh, man, the Kun family.
Look,
Yeah.
they're not the only ones that are, though. I mean,
I
you
know,
gotta.
man.
There's.
Everybody's vying to be that princess, and it's basically one big game. Like who's basically the prettiest? What kind of pervert the Lord Jihad is, or like I don't know.
Dude.
How he likes his girls. I think all of us agree here that he has a type. Honestly,
Hey, man, I do too, and you know what?
I agree with this type.
I
That's all
fully
I'm saying.
agree
Yeah.
with this type. I mean, let's just briefly mention the best girl, Yuri.
Yuri.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now we can
Yuri's
move on.
great. Yeah.
But yeah, no, you have a really good point, Jerry. But yes, there's more families coming along the way. The Kun family's not the only one,
It's a
but
big
it is
tower.
a start. It's a huge tower, man. A lot of floors, a lot of things going on. I hope the viewers and the listeners are ready for what's to come.
So check this out, guys, because again, I have notes comparing the differences, right? And the test with the doors, I found it interesting because in the anime, it's more or less the same thing, like the same rules. It's like, oh, pick a door within 10 minutes. If not, then you die. But in the manhwa, the difference is Hang Sung says, if you pick the wrong door, you die.
Mm.
So that was, and that, adds more to Kun thinking too harshly on which door to choose. And then that actually causes him and Rak to argue before Rak kicks the door down. And I think that really does change it because, they don't have, in this moment, they didn't have conflict in the anime. Right? It was just Rak just complaining the whole time, doing his funny comedic bits until he decides to kick the door down. And then even after that, they didn't argue. So I found that interesting because Kun was pretty flustered in the anime, and he didn't react as harshly as I thought. So I'm wondering if they're really trying to keep Kun's character as level-headed as they can for now, until season 2.
I mean, I feel like that's how it was, anyways. Like at least try to be the only level-headed one in the group.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna try and keep him level-headed until the end of season 1, or relatively close to it because of what happens.
Mhm.
No spoilers
Yeah.
till we get there. And I don't think that he actually I don't think he actually has any other outbursts in the manhwa. As far as what I can remember, but it's also been a long time since I've read season 1.
Outburst being what?
Outbursts being like what Dan just mentioned, because in the manhwa he does get mad at Rak, and they do have that little tippy fit.
Oh,
I think, if they do season 2 for the manhwa in the anime, it's definitely going to be there when he's going to maybe lash out when he gets the reveal, right, of a certain character.
Of course.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be there, but I mean, I wouldn't mind it, right? Because that's Kun's character overall, right? He has to be the level-headed guy. He has to be the reasonable guy, calculating everything. So I guess that's fine.
It's definitely between him and Shibisu, for sure.
right.
Oh, dude, Shibisu.
just I fucking love him so much.
He was great this episode.
So man,
Yeah,
dude,
he
he's another fan favorite. Him and dude, all these reaction images that keep coming out,
Yeah.
they're just so good. They're so
Freaking
good.
Bruce Lee, dude.
Good stuff.
The killing arts.
The first half of the episode, great.
But the second half, that's where it starts
Woo!
picking up to what Tower is about, man. Really great stuff. Like you said, it's more fun, engaging test that we get to experience, right? So the second part starts off it's a bonus test actually from Leroro, and that is the crown.
Yep,
Crown
it's the crown game.
game. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so it's pretty fun, man. It's just all the teams, max of 5 can enter per round, and basically you just have to stay on the throne as long as you can, and if you win, then you can skip all the tests and be allowed to enter the tower. officially, which I actually forgot that happened, or that this was a bonus test rather.
Yeah, I thought that was a hard read, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But when I watched the anime, it was became pretty clear,
Yeah.
like how it went to me.
I don't know if you have this in your notes, Danny, but the explanation is relatively the same. There are a few details that they did mention in the manhwa that I don't think I saw in the anime.
Yeah, so one of them was in the manhwa, they actually had the rules in their room, and I don't think they had it for the anime. Because Shibisu makes a point in the manhwa that once... Well, actually, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, because that what Shibisu asks Leira Rose actually would be in the next episode, so we'll save that for that. But yeah, just subtle differences for here. I didn't really see that big of a difference.
No, I definitely agree. But, just going back to what we're both saying, this is where Tower really gets fun because it's all about, how I always saw Tower of God is, you have to beat a stage, like kind of like in a video game to get to the next level, right? You have to complete the test and then move up, climb up the tower. And now this bonus game was just so much fun. I mean, okay, what is it? The rules are really fun. Like, okay, you pretty much, it's like King of the Hill. You have to stay there and then keep the crown in your head. Now, what do we see? My girl, who got me acting a little not normal this week, man, a knock. Like that next week, solid episode. We already know what's gonna happen, but it lets the new people know, like, hey, we're all about action too. We got some fun stuff coming your way, and they did a really good job. I think this was really 1-for-1.
Yeah.
The fight, yeah. It was choreographed very nicely, and pretty much, pacing was just the same way. But speaking of a knock, right? I don't know if you've noticed this, Adam, with Rack in the anime, but they've changed them up a bit, and I think this fits better than because they didn't do this in the manhwa, right? But he is able to sense strong weapons. Well, in the manhwa, it was the same way. He was trying to find strong prey. The first people he looked at was a Knock and Bam, right? Because they both carry these weapons from the tower, right, with the emblem on there. And he really wanted to fight her because he's like, oh, that weapon smells strong.
In the manhwa?
No, in the anime. That didn't happen in the manhwa.
Oh, okay.
I don't even think he wanted to fight in the first round.
No, because so that's one of the few differences is Kuna says, no, we're just gonna sit back, we're gonna watch this, and then the rest of the scene plays out.
Yeah, I think he said that in the anime too, but I don't remember Rack being very adamant about wanting to join the first round.
Yeah. So they all kind of agree to sit back in the manhwa, but in the anime, he's like, it's like you said, he can just smell, which I think is kind of funny in a way because you see his nostrils flaring, like, I want it, I want to go in.
There's
something
hunt, like... here. Yeah.
But you see, the reason why I like this change is because of what we get with Rack in season 3.
Oh yeah, I like it.
What we find out that he gets to do in season 3, and then seeing it like kind of like you could say this is teased in here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another cool thing was that, again, remember Bam has to cover Black March because it's such a recognizable weapon. And it started reacting to when a knock went out there. I thought that was a nice touch because that didn't happen.
So it started resonating. That was cool, dude.
Mm-hmm. Very, very anime.
Very, very anime.
Yeah, it was good.
I loved it. No, I'm very excited. Okay, go ahead.
And before the text actually started, Leira Rose said himself that, we actually have one more team from a different testing area that showed up, right? So they're by themselves, and we actually got some stuff before the test started, right? With Hansung talked to, we didn't get his name in the anime, but his name is Quaint.
His name is
Quant or something.
Quant.
I think his name did come out in the anime.
You did.
Did it?
He called him Quant like once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't catch that. But yeah, so he's there and he administered a test just like what we saw before, but the only difference is the actual difference here in the anime is that, like, I decided to just combine the first 2 parts of this test together, so build a team and then just fight for 30 minutes. And then in the anime, or in the manhwa, I don't think he really did. I don't think he said that. He just said, like, I just did the test like normal, and then they were the only ones that survived. So out of the 200 people, there were only these 3 people left. Yeah, and then in the anime, this I thought was a big difference here. That Hansung kind of like reacted pretty calmly to this situation.
Yeah, that was weird.
And he asked Quan, he's like, was there any Jihad princesses or irregulars in the test? And he says, I don't think so.
Oh.
But in the manhwa, right, when they're
He
talking
actually-
and Hong Sung's like, how did this happen? And Quinn says, well,
Yeah.
yeah, there was actually a princess and an irregular in there. And he's like, what? How could this happen? Like, they're actually freaking out because they could lose their job or worse, right, for having this happen. And that's why they're like, okay, don't worry, I'll figure it out. And that's where Hong Sung
And honestly-
decided, like, oh, I should just play this game, so that way it's more handled better, I guess.
I feel like honestly, I feel like they should have put in that part in there just to like show how much of an impact an irregular can have through the tower,
Mhm.
or like a princess. You know what I mean? Because in the manhwa, he said like, yeah, there were actually both in there.
I
Like-
think specifically for the next episode, it would have been really important to mention that there were two of them in there.
Yeah.
It's specifically because of how this next battle is going to play out.
Mhm. Yeah, I
But
think so.
I think it was just anime teaser, anime non-spoiler shit, I guess. But
Yeah, I think
Still.
honestly, I do think they're gonna wait for next episode, right? Because of who we know from that rogue team that's now joining the rest of our cast, who's showing up in there, and yeah, I guess they are gonna save it, right? Because like you just said, Adam, we're gonna see this fight play out, and that's gonna be fun to see. So yeah, but yeah, I just thought Hong Soon not reacting as he did in the manhwa was a little disappointing because it makes the
Right.
situation more like, okay, how am I gonna fix this so that way, you know, we could stay alive. Basically, we don't get fired or anything.
Hmm.
Yeah.
no matter what you are, you ship bricks if there's an irregular that enters the tower.
Yeah,
Or
like, we only
princess.
got really dialogue about it. We haven't really seen any of the characters react like, "Oh God, an irregular? That's awful." And then we
Yeah.
haven't really gotten much with the princesses either. So, yeah,
I mean, who reacted? It was just the Princess Yuri.
well, we only know Princess
Evan.
Yuri.
I know, yeah. And then there's Evan, and then
Leroro.
Leroro. Yeah, he also called him a monster.
Mm-hmm. But he doesn't know
It's like
that Bam is
it's
an
like
irregular.
but it's like setting up. It's like setting up the Watcher for Bam to be something like of like an unstoppable force, so to speak.
Mhm.
But it's like really hyping him up for like something. But we know what it is.
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to explore that more once we actually get into the next phase of season 1, right? When they actually start understanding of what Shinsu is and what you have to do when you climb the tower as you pass all these tests. When they start getting into that with Bam, we're going to get a lot more of that. Yeah, man, I can't wait. But overall, yeah, this episode was great. It's my favorite so far for the season. And it's mainly with Rack, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rack made it.
Before we drift from the episode, I will say, who you think it is, don't think too hard in that little cell.
It's so obvious who Bam was looking at across the room.
Just you listeners out there, don't.
Yeah, I wonder who that was, guys.
That looks like Launch, I think, from Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
Hey,
bro,
dude.
Hey, they had Zoro here, so I don't know why, dude.
Don't spoil
Yeah,
it, man.
somebody-
Let my girl Launch come in just fine, okay?
So yeah, that was the episode. The correct door, good stuff. Again, just really liking the subtle changes they're doing overall for the anime to make it more, I guess cohesive. Because remember, SIU is working on the anime as well. Like he's advising it, I believe. Like he's overlooking it.
Mm-hmm. He is.
So now let's go ahead and get into the manhwa. Again, spoilers for anime only people. So this is again season 3, episode 57, A Rough War, part 2. And like we were talking about last week, Adam, a lot of that happened here.
Oh boy, man. This was an emotional roller coaster for me, dude.
Yeah, my only thing I was bummed out about this chapter was we didn't see what Doom and Paul were doing. Because I do want to get back to that story, but I guess we're just gonna wait out for a few more chapters until they come back.
Which I'm fine with. You know, there's a lot going on right now, and a lot just happened. I mean, we called it last week. We're gonna see some dialogue between Cha and Doan. You know, we're gonna see what's gonna happen with Calivan, and the unfortunate part, my girl, she took one for the team, man. She didn't take one for the team, but she got shot. I didn't want to see it.
So we were talking about this, right, Adam, last week about like, oh, she's probably gonna get shot, and we were, thinking like, okay, well, who's this? Where's the eternal flame gonna pass on to, and all that. But actually seeing it play out, I feel like we're gonna see something next chapter for sure.
Oh, definitely. There's gonna be some, just because we know Tower, there might be some like crazy fire thing going on, and then we might get a little bit more explanation on this fire soul. You know, like where does it have to go next, and who's it gonna go to? That whole type of deal. Yeah, and I was looking. I mean, well, I guess we could just start from the beginning. We see Calivan here. There's dialogue between Doan and Cha. There's no more monkey throwing his feces. I miss the monkey, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you feel about that, Gerry? About the big old monkey
Funny.
throwing dookie?
Funny monkey.
Dude, I said he looked like that one, what was it, the lemur from Madagascar?
Yeah.
Yo, those freak me out, dude, when they stare at you. It's like they look right into your fucking soul.
And okay, so this guy with the one fighting Karaka. I guess we've seen him before. I can't remember where.
Oh, Chian Ha?
Mhm.
It's a she, boy.
Oh, excuse me.
She has boobies. Or he has boobies. I don't even know, dude. Whatever.
Dude,
But
yeah.
she's like
Hey,
she's like the commander, the fleet commander for one of his army squadrons.
Yeah, she was in the she wasn't in the dog arc, I don't think, but it was the arc before that when they captured Bam and Karaka's teacher. She was there.
Okay. Yeah, because I
Yeah,
knew I knew they were familiar. I just could not remember where.
Yeah, she's an important figure in the Jihad army.
But we have everybody trying to go over to Bam and Calivan because they all have an idea of how this is going to go. Like you mentioned before, Danny, Bam has no like green light to use the thorn, so everyone thinks he's probably going to take the bullet and die. But I don't know, man. I think people might make it in time. I think somebody, either whether it be White, I mean, we know Karaka is here. This would be really, really nice to see. And again, we mentioned it last week, this character development of Caliban, like not wanting to hurt these two people because he respects their teacher so much.
Yeah, I thought that was good. But yeah, him being here, and I think it was this chapter, right, where they said, or was it last chapter where we saw White? We're definitely going to see him coming up, though, real soon, I think.
Oh, yeah. Even if he doesn't have the full amount of souls to do some damage, like as much damage as he wants to, he's definitely going to be doing something because he's been sitting there for just enough time.
I think he might actually wait because he doesn't, because he doesn't have all his power, and when he does use his power, he loses a lot of it very fast.
Oh, that's true.
Because he's not 100%, so I think he's going to wait until he actually gets to that level, and then we're going to see him do some real damage.
That you have a really good point with that. I totally forgot when he did his little upgrade in the last fight with Calivan, he was winded out completely.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the big thing at the end, right, that you brought up, we see Evankel. She's actually fighting one of the squad commanders, and we've actually seen him before. He's been with Calivan before, and essentially he's being a distraction, so that way the sniper from the was it Lao Pao family?
Mm-hmm.
Lopobia?
Yeah, Lopobia. And basically she explains what her bullet is. It's just like this high density Shinsu bullet that could just take out anybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, and shooting it right at Evankel.
Right in the head.
Right in the noggin. Right in the temple.
But I'm not gonna lie, man. When I saw this play out and we got to the end of the chapter, I don't think we're done with Evankel yet. I feel like she's just getting warmed up. We're gonna see some crazy stuff because again, she has this ancient power. So I'm wondering if we're actually gonna see what I think we're gonna see. I think she's gonna stick around, right? It's good. I feel like it's gonna be similar to when they initially fought Calivan, right? And he got punched. He got like a hole punched in his chest, but it was just like pure Shinsu that was inside of him.
Oh my god, that was crazy, dude. He's still standing or floating.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, you should be dead.
Yeah,
Guy's
man.
a monster.
That was wild, bro.
So I feel like we're gonna see something like that with Evankel, just because.
We got some monsters here, dude.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna see that with her.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just looking at it again right now. You know, Danny, you bring up a really good point because what it looks like the bullet, it just has that flame coming out of it. So we could definitely see that.
And man, you know what? This chapter just reminded me of too. Calivan showed up right where Bam is at. We have a shot of everybody reacting. We see Yama there, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's not really doing anything right now, huh? He's just in the background trying to
kind of holding back. Yeah, holding back forces. Or I don't even know, dude. Just in front of the wall.
He's with the
barking.
cage, yeah.
Who? Rack?
No, Yama.
No, Yasracha.
Oh no,
Yama.
Yama. Yeah, no, they're waiting for that.
Yeah, they're there because they're waiting for Yasracha, the other dude from the
the
family.
cat.
And then they're also waiting to teleport the for that wall to go down so they can teleport the cage one more time.
Inside.
Oh, that's
over
right.
there.
Mhm.
That's right. I forgot
So-
about that.
And then now we got big
This is a
boy
big
Calivan
thing
over
going on
here.
right now, dude.
Yeah, dude, it ain't
This is
easy
a big-
being
this
cheesy, bro.
This is the climax. This is like one of the apex fights. One of the climax fights, dude.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna get really intense right now because we brought them up earlier, but yeah, Dowan and Cha, I feel like that they're gonna have to fight soon, right? We're gonna have them trying to negotiate each other more, but I think it's just gonna go down to Cha fighting Dowan, because as we see in this chapter, Dowan, she's kind of guarding the second defense wall with her flower Shinsu. So Cha's gonna have to distract her so that way Bam could really destroy the defensive wall.
I just really want to hope that Jin Sung Ha, their teacher, is still okay. I love that guy. Like at the end of all this, I know you read ahead, Gerry, but just don't tell me, man.
No, there's nothing with him ahead. Just don't worry about it.
Good. Because
oh my bad. It's just so.
look,
Dude.
bro,
I'm telling you, dude, it's worth it, man. Just spend the $5, support these guys, and throw your tokens to them, and just like read the oncoming chapters because, man, I want more. And after I'm caught up, they don't. You have the 3. And once you read the 3, it just goes one by one. And I really wish I had the 3 new chapters to read. Man, it's so good, dude. It's so good when it catches up.
That's what I'm talking
I
about.
can't say any more, but fuck, man.
Yeah, that's but that's okay. I just like to hear that how good it is right now because I already know how
it's so
good it's gonna get, dude. I can't wait. I cannot
Dude,
wait.
this reminds me of this reminds me of when One Piece is good. Like right now, it's that hype right now. It's so good, man.
Hell yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Yeah.
This is a great one to read. If you watch the anime, read the manhwa. That's your homework for tonight.
I'm really liking how Calivan's Shinsu looks. Right, it's like an
It's
firecracker.
so good. The blue yellow.
Yeah, it's like explosive.
So the bravery.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah, dude. It's so good. He hasn't even thrown out his other arm yet. It's still tied behind his back. So all this shit is going down. And I'm like, what? Man, come on, man.
Gerry, since you weren't here last time when we talked about this, dude,
Yeah.
the fit of this boy right now.
Oh, it's so good, bro. Oh my god, bro. Straight admiral status. That jacket, bro.
Bro, who is your tailor? I need to know now.
Oh,
That beret, let me get, dude.
Dude,
all of it.
That jacket, let me cop, dude. Let me just have your stylist throw up the set online, and then I'll just cop, man.
Wear it on your OnlyFans page. Come on, bro.
Firecrackers included.
Do it for the kids back home. We need this. We need some clothing.
We need some bravery.
But yeah, it was a good chapter. Really good anime episode. I think Tower's on a hot streak right now.
Hell
Yeah. I think this is a good chapter to to start building up what we're about to see for like the next at least 5 chapters. I can bet.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I want to take this moment, man, to say, just because we're reading the manhwa in season 1 and now, staying up to date currently, how much it's changed. Like, the art is just so
so different.
Dude, but it's so
changed
good.
So much.
It's so
Dude,
good, but you know what I've been thinking about Tower for a lot is just like how ridiculous it's gotten power level wise. And and just reading these last few chapters right for this arc that we've been talking about on the show, and I'm just like, look at this Bleach bullshit where we're just standing in the air.
I know. This is so stupid. Oh Jesus!
Because I don't know if you guys remember, I think it was like an arc or two. It was like a few arcs ago in season 3 when it's just like this never happened, and then Bam like created that disc of Shinsu and he could fly on it. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So now we could traverse in the air, but now everybody's just standing like normal. But Bam still needs his wings, and I'm like, like, oh my god,
we've reached unprecedented levels of OP.
Yeah, like that's how you know it gets ridiculous when we're just standing on air, and then just shooting all like these Dragon Ball Z fucking attacks, man.
There is no limit. You can never be too OP.
Dude, I have actual logic behind this. When the Shinsu is so dense, you can just stand anywhere.
That's basically what's happening.
Yeah, bro. All the chakra you build onto your feet and you just stand on it.
Dude, we got Naruto and Bleach bullshit in the same sentence with some Dragon Ball Z power scaling. Like,
Let's
you can't
go,
get any
dude.
more. You can't get any more anime than this, man. You really can't.
This is what the masses want.
This is what I want, man. This is all that, especially with the deviant art that we get sometimes, like with Yama's transformation. Like, dude, this is what I wanted in middle school, bro, and I fucking finally get it now, and it works. It's not some whack story. Like it works.
Fucking Super Saiyan 8 Yama.
It's too
only
good.
in Mexico for some reason.
Yeah, along with Super Saiyan Blanco.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Forgot
man,
about
so
Super
good.
Saiyan Blanco.
Dude, don't forget fucking
Fucking white.
Oh yeah, white. But yeah, man, I'm hyped to see this fight coming up with Calivan and to see what Invankel does. But I hope we can get to back to the dogs within the next 5 chapters.
I hope so too.
Yeah, they're fighting like crazy during all this pandemonium.
You know what I feel like? I don't know if it happened yet, Gerry, where you're at, 'cause I know you're ahead of the 3 chapters.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're going to be in the middle of this fight, and then something's going to happen, and then next thing we know, we see Paul show up. Because remember, like, this is his first time where he does full body transformation. So I feel like he's going to show back up, start doing some damage, and then we're going to flash back into the other chapters to like, oh, okay, let's see how that fight finished.
Yeah, There's so much going on right now, dude. That is way ahead. That's like 20 chapters ahead, dude.
Yeah, okay.
There are so many things going on at once right now, bro. You got Croc and Bam and fucking Calivan. You literally got the dogs in the cage fighting the fucking Jihad's forces. You got Hockney and Kun, fucking White. Dude, there's just people everywhere doing everything. You got Doan and Cha and like just, I love you too. Let's stop fighting. No, I want to fight with this guy. I changed my mind. Will you stop fighting? No. What the fuck? It's like, what the fuck, dude?
So it's on that classic Tower bullshit.
For real, dude. There's so much going on at once. You kind of have to be like, what happened? Like, go back and read some chapters. It's so great. I love it.
That's why I appreciate Tower in the beginning. We get like the previously on section that's important for this chapter. I always like that one.
It's so good, yeah. I appreciate that too. I can't wait for White. Like when he's all,
dude, I
like,
want to see White just fucking come in and just freaking, oh man, pull some fucking fighting game bullshit, man.
Dude, because then we'll
fucking
have
get to the Tenshos, bro.
Dude, but we'll have 2 full Slayers on the field. Because we all know
Oh,
Bam
yeah,
is still
bro,
a candidate,
3.
dude. No, because Bam is still a candidate, so he's not even a
Is
real
it
Slayer
Karaka the
yet.
Slayer?
Yeah, so we got Karaka and we got White. That's 2 Slayers right there.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, bro.
Oh, don't forget we have Yama.
And
That's right.
Yama?
Yeah, Yama is
Yama's
a Slayer too. Yeah, he is.
Ooh, shit.
Yeah, because if you remember in the last arc in the dog cage, it was I forget their name, but they showed up from Foog and they were like, "Oh yeah, we want to strip you of your Slayer position."
Yeah, the Fug Elders.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. He was all taking a bath, giving that yaoi treatment.
But all right, man. I think with that, it's gonna wrap up this episode for today. Just really great stuff on both ends for the series, and
Beginning and end.
yeah, honestly, I can't wait just to see more from the anime, especially more fighting, right? Because we haven't really gotten a lot of that. We just got a little bit in the first episode.
The early parts of the whole thing are like a lot of dialogue, a lot of explaining how the world is in the tower, how things work and all that. So if you can get past like most anime has a whole freaking dialogue section, but once you get past that, let the action come in, you'll be fine. You'll be set.
And was it at the end of the episode where Lauric comes out and then he shows what he can do? Or we didn't get that far yet?
Who was that again?
The
Who
guy
did
who
you say?
sleeps. The guy who sleeps.
Oh, yeah, no, they didn't show much of what he can do. They literally
Okay.
The most he did was walk through the Shinsu barrier, and that's it.
Okay, yeah.
No, wait, no, well, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
I just went back to it. Okay, yeah. Next episode,
Okay.
it's gonna do a great preview of how intense some of these fights can get, dude. Because
It's so good, dude.
it's so good, man. Like
It's dumb good, man.
I think he
He
actually
did something, didn't he?
I think he sat up when Anak was fighting.
he did, but I had gone a little farther ahead when I was reading the manhwa.
I think he sat up in the anime when Letero was announcing the bonus game and how people can move up,
right.
like fuck like screw all the tests and shit.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
I feel like I could be getting him ahead of myself, but I feel like he did something.
No. I just went back to it.
Okay.
No, he didn't. It's
No,
gonna be
but
next
like,
episode.
no, I mean like not this show something on the anime,
right.
but like about to do something and then cut something else and then boom his team.
Oh
passes
no,
or
you know
something.
what he did? He was sleeping when they were doing the door test, and then so they threatened to cut his blanket, and that's when he got up, and then he was like, okay, fine, I picked this door.
Okay, yeah. All right, yeah. That solves that.
But overall, good stuff. Great week to be a Tower
stuff.
fan.
Good content.
Yeah, man, really great time. Perfect time to be a fan of Tower. Both old and new. And so again, yeah, with that, we're going to wrap up the episode, guys. Thanks for swinging by. If you have any questions or comments, remember unversedpodcast@gmail.com. If you have any questions, we'd love to talk about on the next episode. You can follow us at Unversed Podcast to stay updated when episodes drop. And of course, check out Marvel Talk. We have a new episode this week coming out. And look out for our next main episode. We're going to be announcing some new things happening for the Unversed Network. So good stuff overall. Thanks, guys. And we're going to be ending this episode with a brand new song from the boy Back Prince. Used to go by Look IRA. I did a review for his album last year, Heliophobia. He just dropped a new one the other day called Low. That's on Bandcamp right now. Link in the description. Really good stuff. So yeah, we're going to end it on there. We'll catch you guys next time.
Juggling goes for a minute. I'm by the river of wishes. Fountain of youth is in my cup. I pour it out, but I'm missing. Targets on my back. Turn around, step around and get clapped. It's the sound wave loud in the back. Keep the tongue tucked. Mind fucked. Dumb luck. So what? I'm slumped. Stick on the job. Stuff on the blunts. Never one up. Need to protect my arm, but the figure becoming aberrations. The advocate of submission keeps a man distant. And so what? It's filled with attacks. So pull up. Round real slow and protect your neck. I'm high all the time like 50 cent in the thousands. Keeping it loud when I be passing around then, higher than the clouds is, blasting my tracks in the thousands, keep it raw, hot box, every houses I'm in, switching for a living, never on my own shit, because I only want to listen, I never see you like that.